Hey everyone, welcome to my lesson plan presentation. I have chose to focus on jump roping for the 4th grade. So the objective is students will self-turn a jump rope while the teammate counts their jumps. The content standards are jump a self-turned rope, and then sustain conscious movement for increasing periods of time while participating in moderate to vigorous activity. And then the accommodations for students with special needs would be to have a whiteboard and then have the cues posted on there so that students who are having trouble jumping over the rope, while other students are working on their task sheet, they can go ahead and run a help session and help those students learn to better jump rope. Modeling this movement will be helpful for these students as well. And then pairing English language learners up with a reading partner will help those students as well better understand the activity. So the equipment needed is jump ropes, and preferably 7 to 9 feet, just because we're dealing with 4th graders. So they're a little older, so we're going to use a little longer jump rope. Music source, because students will be getting excited that they get to jump to music. And whiteboard markers so that the teaching cues can be written down. And the jump rope task sheet and pencils for students to be able to mark off each task that they accomplish. And this is a little sample right here of the task sheet that the students will have. And then the script to get students excited for physical education, basically just saying, all right, guys, today we're going to develop our jump rope skills. And I say develop because it's okay that not all of us know how to jump rope. And also reminding students that we are going to jump rope with music. And music really gets students excited to participate. Music just allows students to feel not so pressured and just let loose and have fun. So I think that will get them excited as well. Going on saying that students are going to learn how to jump rope with teams gets them excited as well. They love to work in partners, and so using each skills task sheet, they will try to complete each task and check it off as they do so. So I believe that this task sheet will provide students with intrinsic motivation, which is the pleasure students get from engaging or completing an activity. So they will become motivated after completing each task that they set out. How will you assemble your students to leave class? So before the end of the day routine, it is important to mentally clear the previous activity for the students, asking them to put away all their equipment, materials, and distractions and stand on their number, signaling for their attention by blowing the whistle. As soon as they are attentive, pause for 30 seconds, take a moment to be quiet, cool down, exercise while students gather themselves, and breathe off any residual energy. This pause will allow students to know that the end of the day routine is here. So that's kind of how I will assemble that with them standing on their number space. The best location that would suit this activity would be outside so that the students have enough space to turn their jump ropes without any injuries. And the section option would be the cafeteria instead of having students get a jump rope. Each student get a jump rope, they would just get one for their group and share so that there's not so many jump ropes going on, since it would be in the cafeteria and it wouldn't be such a spacious space. So students can do that in the cafeteria if needed. The warm-up exercise I would have them do would be free jump rope just to any music. If students don't know how to jump rope while the music is going, I can walk around and help individually instruct students to learn how to jump rope while students that know how already are warming up. They may take a quick 30-second break and then begin jumping again. If there is not enough jump rope, students can take turns with their partner, switching every 60 seconds. I also kind of included a warm-up routine here that I wanted to add just before we got started with the activity. I want students to perform lunges, head to toe touches, high knees, jumping jacks, and cherry pickers To start off warming up our muscles, students will be assembled on their assigned number space for warm-ups and instruction, as well as the end of the day routine. Once students' instruction has been given, students will break off into groups of 2 and doing their partners. And so the teaching cues will be keep your elbows in at your sides, use your wrists to turn the rope, and bend knees slightly as you land. And there are steps to come with that as well in the next couple slides. And students will chant together like 1, 2, 3, counting out loud as they do their warm-up routine, and the teacher will verbally call the cues to switch from left to right. So if we're chanting up to 10, once we read 8, 9, 10, okay, switch. And then, so if we just did the left, we'll switch to the right or vice versa. And this can be done, also we can count in Spanish or English. So like 1, 2, 3, and then, or 1, 2, 3, based on that. Jumping rope uses the muscles in the lower body, including the quads, hamstrings, glutes, and calves. It also uses muscles in the shoulders, arms, and core. So students' muscles are moving during this activity. And so this is kind of the script that I will tell the students to stand nice and tall, feet together, keeping your feet as close as possible while students, this will help students to jump, to develop their jump rope skills and to jump thoroughly. Keeping their elbows in at their sides, use your wrist to turn the jump rope, jump on the balls of your feet with bent knees, that's important, and jump when the rope is moving toward your feet. So oftentimes jump rope is super hard for children because they don't know when to jump. So telling the students when to jump is oftentimes helpful. And then lastly, bending the knees slightly when they land. And then I would ask the kids, raise your hand if you have a jump rope at home. Jump rope is an amazing cardiovascular endurance exercise. Today we are going to learn and complete a bunch of jump rope challenges. Do you know any jump rope challenges already? And then have students respond. Turn and tell someone next to you some of the jump rope challenges you already know how to do or have heard of. And so these partners and students will converse about this. And then later I can check for understanding by seeing if students are able to score some points on the task sheet. This tells me that it is evident that they are able to self-turn a jump rope and that they are understanding or trying to understand the strategies to be successful at jumping rope. So that's why this task sheet is really important for students, because I think it will help them to understand and for the teacher to understand how they are doing with each task. And it'll let us know also like what tasks are easier to do and what tasks are more challenging. And then so this is a demonstration of skipping rope techniques and methods. So this is just a visual for students to have, like putting your feet together, jumping on one foot, high knees. Although we aren't going to be doing in this activity skipping rope, this is just kind of giving the formation demonstration and visual for students to understand. Student of the week will select 2 to 3 classmates to help them collect the equipment at the end of the class. Jumping a self-turn rope these are the teaching cues that will be written on the whiteboard, and then the assessment tool that will be used for this activity will be the jump rope challenge task sheet. And so for the independent practice, I figured it would be fun for the students to get an individual jump rope, find their own personal space on the blacktop or in the cafeteria if needed. The students will then be told that the music will be turned on and they are to jump to the beat of the music. The students will be given a minute or 2 to get used to jumping to the beat of the music, and then the music will be stopped and students will be asked to find their partner. Then they can take their rope, and each of them will stand straight and tall next to each other, and one student will be turning the rope, and and jumping with their partner. The two partners will face each other and will need to jump at the same time in order to keep the rope going. This skill requires communication between the two on and when to jump in order to keep the jump rope going consistently. This is going to take some practice, but I think that it'll be fun and that fourth graders will be able to complete this activity successfully. The end of class procedure, there will be a chime that goes off, letting the students know that there's 5 minutes left of class. I will then blow the whistle to then have students freeze in position. Students are instructed to clean up and then go back to their numbers for a cool down exercise. During this time, students will focus on their attention and have a class discussion on how they did on the challenges and what they thought what they thought of the challenges. Asking the students a variety of questions and then discussing that the next class meeting we will learn how to turn a double Dutch rope, and then eventually students will learn how to jump the double Dutch ropes. So that gets them excited and looking forward to the next class meeting. So for this one teacher has gone through the end of the class procedure. Students will be dismissed to return to their classroom from their numbers on the blacktop based on quiet listening behavior. And then the student of the week, like I said before, is responsible for the equipment and choosing 2 to 3 helpers to gather all equipment and return it to the PE tank. This is the final thoughts slide that I have, and in here I have linked the video, the demonstration video that will allow you to watch my demonstration on turning a self-turned rope with students. And then lastly are my sources, and I've attached the lesson plan that I created. I use the textbook, and the standards are linked in this page as well. I hope you all enjoyed.